love that there's forgiveness in this world.
This is the best looking Minecraft that I've ever been able to set up. I played with the settings, so I can see like super far. It's foggy right now, but you can see way.
There's a negative aspect to this non-forgiveness mindset.
I got my favorite texture pack on. Trophies are enabled. We've got roadies.
It's definitely not good for the people that receive it. If you have this fear that you'll be cast out of the kingdom.
Here we'll start an episode right here now that we got the graphics and we got all the frame rates maxed out.
You might have done for whatever fucking reason, but you realize as a human being, how could I have done that? If you're not willing to say, I get it, we're all human, and I believe your intention, give me a hug, let's work this out. If you can't do that, you're the problem. The problem is your unforgiving mindset, the least charitable perspective on every person you run into, because you think that somehow or another that elevates you, but it doesn't.
They make you stick to this mistake. Like when Kevin Hart was like trying to be nice about gays, and they're like, "Well, where was that then?" And I'm like, "He's being nice, and this is your moment to shit on him."
Also, Kevin Hart was trying to be famous and trying to get laughs. And when you try to get laughs, you will say things you don't believe, but you think will be effective, and it's a sign of a comedian that's not that good yet. It's a normal thing that we all did.
Yeah.
We all
and still do. That's still do.
I watch people
fucking pussies.
I watch people take wild chances at the mothership, like wild chances, and I know the audience sometimes goes, "Why does he care about that?" And you know, it's this thing in his head. He's trying to find something.
Well, I think the audience at the mothership is more aware of that than most clubs because we talk about it so much. But the process of creating a bit is sometimes you have to trot it out there and. While you're saying it, you're freeballing, and you might go down the wrong path and get committed to it.
Yeah. And then you're like stuck on a route. Yeah, you're just like, well, let me try to get out of this.
But that's how new bits are created. There's new bits that get created because of that.
That's why I hate when people
push yourself into a
corner. See somebody like that guy's not
good. I think when I first said freeballing instead of freeballing,
that's
I didn't say that. How old weird that keeps happening.
Hated me
about
Louis C.K.'s leak set. When comics were going after him, I'm like,
he doesn't say the same thing as him. That's not
the normies about the process.
It's also one of those things where I remember when that happened, and you're like, we should not lose this list of names.
Right. I never lost that list of names.
Traders, fucking cunts. Where you're like, it's so obvious, by the way, that this is a pop-in. Like, I'm working this shit out. It's a workout set.
He hasn't done stand-up in 10 months.
It's so crazy.
No stand-up in 10 months. And every one of those premises had promise.
Also, they were good. I would relate it to people when they were like, what's going on? I would tell them. They'd laugh at me retelling that joke.
It's literally like a farmer. It's literally like a farmer being criticized for not having a crop to take the market right after he plants the seeds.
Yeah.
Where's your fucking tomatoes?
Might be the most fun person to watch work out, period, too. Like, he's so good at it, and he takes chances, and he goes for it, and the thing is, he actually sits in suffering more than other comics, like, meaning, like, if it starts to not work, so many people bail out like that, and he'll sit in the suffering.
But, you know, we were talking about this last night at the club, that there is a giant group of fans that want to see that happen.
Yeah.
We're talking about guys are coming up to Duncan and saying, "Hey, I love how you changed that." Yeah. And now you're like, "Oh shit!" Now you've watched me multiple times do this thing, but they like I like music. I can't play music. I can't play anything, but I love watching live music.
Yeah,
I love watching people perform. And if there was a way that I could go watch them develop live songs, develop them, like if I knew that like Gary Clark Jr. is going to start out with like this sort of melody and put it together in front of crowds, then one day it's going to be on Spotify.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm going to watch it happen.
Yeah.
That's comedy fans now.
Yes, that is comedy fans.
What percentage though? In a room?
37.
No, 37.
I'd say like less than half.
At the mothership?
Less than half.
At the mothership?
That are wanting to watch
it. I bet at the mothership there's a lot more than most. Because I bet at the mothership they've at least listened to one conversation between comedians.
But not you have to see the stand-up setup 10 times.
That bitch ass lighter. That is
bitch.
bitch. Take this shit.
Take your God. I'm a leader in your family.
I need to get a lighter. Does someone make a lighter that looks like an eagle?
Bro, what do you got? Yep.
Jamie, remind me an eagle lighter for my cigarettes.
This is the best I've ever had.
Yeah, Calibri. Yeah, shout out to Calibri.
The only time I've ever flexed a fucking police hooked me up. Again, I showed you this yesterday.
Yeah.
A Florida Dominica. Andalusia. This is the best cigar you'll ever have in your fucking life.
Really?
That cigar is next fucking level. This is next
Boy who cried wolf personified.
No, it's the way I live life. I tell you how I feel.
You told me you could do the splits.
Buddy, I did a marathon. You know how hard it was to bite my tongue when you showed me David Goggins' foot? And I was like, that's what we do.
Should have just said it.
That's what we do, Joe.
Give me a 10 marathon. What do you want?
I know, it's a cutter. It's my thigh, but Joe, what are my shoulders do you like?
They're very firm. They also look like a guy who can pick up some heavy shit. We were talking about in the green room. When you got on stage, I was like, damn, look at Bert's fucking shoulders. You got traps, you got shoulders. You look jacked. You remember that one day we did Sober October? We went back there and everybody's like, how much can you bench? It was one of those how much can you bench things. And we put 225 on the bar and no one could bench it. But I just saw you benching it the other day. And how many did you do? How many reps? 10 reps.
By the way, for progress, like to be clear, he got pinned the first time.
I got
Pinned on one.
Pinned. I remember.
I don't bench press, and when I did it, I was like, "This is like really stupid." But we were drunk.
I love it.
I think I did 12 or 13, but I can do 15 now. Every now and then I try it.
You know I'm gonna blow out my pecs trying to do 15 to do it. Blow them out.
Do it. If you do, I'll do 20.
Do it. You guys aren't pussies.
You guys
I love this about you.
We'll take it to the
I
death.
love this about you.
You don't love
I love that you own a little territory in my head.
You don't love it.
I do.
You don't.
I do.
You think you
I
love it.
absolutely
You think you love it
do.
until we're actually engaged in competition. And then
Right,
it's an
Joe.
anxiety. When you get up to piss in the middle of the night, I know you think about it.
But for real,
When
Joe,
we
you
were
could
doing
double
some...
them.
I could have doubled them.
No,
I doubled them with
that's
push-ups.
ridiculous. No, that's ridiculous. You couldn't.
I definitely could.
Do you do
Double them in bench, no
you
way.
do 30 reps?
No.
30's tough.
No,
30's
impossible.
tough. It's
Big
impossible.
dogs.
No.
NFL
My
guys do
frame,
25.
can't handle it. At 15,
It's
I'd be
30.
struggling. At 15, I'd be struggling.
I struggle
but
at 15.
I did,
How would you get
when I did with you guys, I had no idea if I could even do it. I literally hadn't benched in forever.
Yeah.
All I do is kettlebells.
Benching?
The heaviest weight I do is 70 pounds.
Hey, would you ever think about posting when you program
It's a
for your
15
workout?
pull-ups.
I would love to know what
15
you do.
pull-ups is hard for me. I have to do it 5 times and I don't
It's-
work out.
Yeah, I do circuits,
Not
but
actually.
I think there's a real value to doing there's a bunch of exercises that are standards,
6 foot,
like
almost even.
straight leg deadlifts, clean and press. These
Yeah,
things
Start
are.
with swings. Do you do
Yeah,
like
I start with
like
push-ups and
never-
bodyweight squats, and I start with cold
My
plunge.
honest friends, man.
Every workout's 3 minutes,
sure.
34 degrees. Boom, go from there. 20 bodyweight squats, 20 push-ups, 20 bodyweight squats, 20 push-ups. You do 2 sets in a row so that you get 2 sets of legs, 2 sets of push-ups, so that you get warm up.
Yeah.
Then you do
Yeah, far.
the final 3. You get to
So
100
far.
push-ups,
That's
100
far.
bodyweight
I could
squats.
see
Then
far.
it's kettlebells. And
This is
if I'm
amazing. I
on a
like
regular schedule,
I'm
it's 70
fixed it.
pounds.
I've
So I go
fixed
to
it
70
times
pounds, 70 pounds, 10 swings each
Almost
arm, 3 sets,
PS5,
10 presses each arm, 3 sets, 10
I got
windmills
8K
each arm, 3
TV,
sets,
8K
10
cord.
renegade rows each arm, 3 sets.
Renegade rows.
So with 70 pounds at the end of that is rough. Then you go to
Renegade
the sled. Then you go to the sled.
Oh, sleds.
And then it's the torque
I
sled.
don't know.
Pushing it, you're pushing it about
Getting.
35 meters. And then you're pushing it and you're pulling it back. And we do that. We'll do that for 3 sets.
You work
Then
for someone?
No, I just get it. I just do it in my head, and then I have comics do it with me.
Oh, yeah, I've been there for those.
So then we go from there to Tabatas on the heavy bag. Tabatas are 20-second sprint followed by 10-second rest. So we do that, and we blast out the end of the workout. We put The Rock through this.
Yeah.
And the end of the workout, you
Quit?
No, The Rock is fucking. He was cool, man. He's humble. He didn't. He's not a kettlebell guy. He had never done cold plunge before he did it with us.
What?
Yeah, never done it. So he is super humble. There was no, guy's built like a fucking superhero, right? But I think he's also doing a lot of stuff to increase like the aesthetics.
Yeah,
So he's doing a lot of machines. If you look at his Iron Paradise, that insane gym he has set up, yes, by the way, American flag, fucking prominently displayed. When you look at that setup is a setup that's perfect for a guy who wants to look like a superhero in a movie. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm concerned with like functional strength. I'm concerned with like I want to be able to move my body like an athlete as long as I can. And so we did a bunch of like wild shit that he had never done before.
Really?
Yeah, windmills are hard, man.
Windmills are really hard.
It's hard, but I've been doing that whole routine for so long that my body is like just fucking primed.
You pretty much at that every morning? Is that roughly where you're at?
That's one workout that I do twice a week.
You know, a guy like me would love to get an Instagram in the mornings.
Come work out.
No, but I'd love to get a morning in LA. Buddy, I got a flight out at 8.
Let's go.
I texted you when I came.
5 a.m. workout.
I texted you. Sorry. No fucking idea. I'll shoot my testosterone at fucking 4:30.
Let's do it. No, 3:30. You want to get a couple hours in it where it really gets in your system.
I love getting information like that.
And then we'll cold plunge first. Cold plunge first while it's dark out.
With your big cock.
You'll hear, it's not that big. It's right.
Oh, buddy, the video you showed of yourself getting the cold plunge the other day, I had to stop myself from going, is anyone looking at his cock?
Only Bert, a couple of chicks.
They call me a hog watcher. If you have a big cock, I'm going to notice.
There's something fun about getting in that cold when it's raining out. It's raining out.
It was 32 when you got in that video.
Who's
No,
got
it's
a
21.
big dick?
21 outside.
way.
34 inside.
How much do you think it's
I
worse?
think the most modest
like,
people.
like
What?
No, it's
getting
not
in
that.
the
Only
cold
when
when
they
it's
need
cold
to-
outside.
No.
It feels like you want relief from something.
No.
It's so much better after the sauna.
Yeah, for sure. But it doesn't matter if it's hot out. Once you get in, it's still fucking so cold.
So you do box breathing?
I just breathe. Oh, I'm really accustomed to being in there now.
I love
So I can just sort of,
It's after
You
those
just
first
settle
20
in.
seconds that it's like, just shut up.
unless you use the blue cube. The blue cube, there's an option to have it like a raging river, and you never get what's called a thermal barrier.
Wow.
Yeah, thermal barrier.
You realize how in the weeds you are about cold plunging?
Yeah, I'm in the weeds. If you want to be a guy who tortures yourself, blue cube is the way to go.
I'd love to open up Rogan's YouTube on his computer, just see what it's suggesting to him.
I can't wait till the North Korea finds that fucking
skinning
phone.
and-
By the amount of guns I researched and the amount of animal attacks. Yeah.
The polar plunge is badass. But do you do the light thing?
Yeah, I do that red light therapy.
Yeah.
I do that
Did you
every
get that
morning.
bed?
Yeah, I got it.
What's that?
Yeah, I
Is
got
it
it with
great?
Gary
What's that?
Brecka. Well, one of the things that's happening is as you get older, your skin starts to get thinner because you have a lack of collagen, and you start looking like you're like, it looks sick. Even if you feel good, your skin has more laxity.
Yeah.
In the 1.5 months that I've been using it, my skin looks better.
What is it? What is it?
It's red light therapy.
red light therapy.
What is it? Different thing?
We could talk about it, but I don't know what I'm saying, so I'd be
What, it's
bullshitting.
something that shoots light at you?
Yeah, it helps your body.
You see people with the
produce
mask
more
sometimes.
collagen.
I do that for my head.
It helps you rehabilitate from injuries. There's a lot of things. I'm not the guy to talk specifics about it, but I do it every day. I have one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a barrack?
Yeah, I have
You
one.
have
of those.
one?
Yeah.
I want to do this so bad.
And I have a flotation tank. I don't know which one is better for you because both of them are really good for you. The flotation tank is, there's a reset that I think you can achieve from that. It's just like doing psychedelics without any of the weird fuckery of recovery and coming back to normal. You get out of there and you're fine.
You're out.
It's if you could take what you get from a sensory deprivation tank in a pill with just as a drug, everybody would take it.
It's called Xanax.
No, it's not. It's great. It's great.
The best.
I bet Xanax is awesome. But
Xanax
I think what that is the opposite. That's like instead of like pretending your house isn't wrecked, check out. That's like going in your house and examining all the cracks in your foundation.
I had to jack off.
In a flotation tank?
Whatever. Shout out to Kuya. Anyway,
You jacked off in one
no, I didn't jack off in their fucking face.
Yes, you
Joke.
did.
Joke.
I feel like you did.
I probably did.
Tom, you jerk off.
I jerk off a lot.
Come on,
I'm sick of jerking
off. Once every day?
Now, Leanne's on testosterone too. You're not supposed to share that.
You did.
She went, she just went secret time. She just went to
Secret time for 11 million people. Good luck.
Careful.
You want to edit that out?
Nope.
Wow.
No, because I like what Ways to Well's doing. I do.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And they got her on testosterone and progesterone. I'll share that because I
she's
think
ready to fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
Cowboy?
Man, after your apologies,
My wife's friend.
I got you
I had to
later.
tap on my leg.
My wife's friend is English.
My leg.
My
leg. Go ahead.
My wife's friend is
I was
English.
making about you. Go ahead, Joe.
My wife's friend is English, and she got on testosterone, and she was telling my wife, she was, I feel like a bloke. She was
Really?
an English lady. She was, I feel like a bloke.
Leanne wants to fuck all the time.
Damn.
And I'm telling you, it's Ways to Wellness. God bless Ways to Well.
Get him on it.
She's on progesterone and testosterone. I told it to Shane Gillis, and he fucking could not stop making fun of it in the most hilarious way. He's fucking so good. But it's changed our relationship. We're fucking nonstop.
Congratulations.
I don't want to jerk off.
how
What's that noise again?
What?
Throw up noise.
Oh no. Oh, what, Milan and I fuck?
Just joking.
No, if you saw us fuck, I think
I would jack off in the corner.
I don't think you would.
What'd I do?
You'd be like,
Would I give you
what's Brett
tips?
thinking about?
Give me that same face when you
Like, open your eyes, Bert. She's getting confused.
What's your favorite position, Bert?
What's your position, Bert? Doggy style. Good question.
I thought you were gonna say pegged. I'm so glad you didn't say pegged.
No. I like from behind.
Yeah.
It's really fucking hot.
That's a good one.
I never was into ass.
That's a good one.
That's never into ass.
It's all
Really?
category.
Yeah.
You were never into asses?
No, I was a tit guy. And I'm still a tit guy, but it's funny. I look at her ass and it's like, it's perfect. It's not like cellulite, and it's just a big ass. It's a big ass.
lady.
Cellulite.
But it's just a
Cellulite.
Yeah.
That sounds like it should be a band.
Cellulite.
That should be a fucking cool band,
Yeah.
like Pussy Riot. Cellulite.
But I like Doggy Style's fucking hot. It's so fucking hot. So I like it. And I don't know if it's testosterone, but she's like had checked off barriers that were previously in our relationship.
Not fucking good.
No. We haven't had anal sex. Congratulations. We haven't had anal sex.
What?
Yeah, obviously. Hans Kim on No, your girl's podcast. Kill Laura.
Yeah.
Laura Comfort.
First date, yeah.
She said,
What?
I don't know, buddy.
Hans Kim. Anal.
What's the podcast called?
First date.
First Date. Laura Compton.
He had a really funny
Lauren Compton, yeah.
Hans Kim's
Lauren Compton, sorry.
Lauren Compton.
You guys sure?
Yeah.
He said, I do want to have it, only so I know where I stand with you. That you'll let me do dirty shit to you. Or something like that.
Oh, Hans said that?
Hans said that. Something similar. But it's like,
Sounds like a guy who shouldn't be allowed to have a gun.
See where I stand?
I fucked it up. Sorry, Hans. I fucked it up. But it was very,
That's
very
funny.
funny.
Yeah,
That was
Hans
very
funny
funny.
I
shit.
can't stop thinking about, I know this is a weird transition, but that 6-hour MPX that Taryn has.
Good gun.
I want to get one of those.
Wait, what's this?
I guess you won. Really? Yeah.
Are we telling us things we can't stop thinking
Yeah, I
about?
just kept thinking about, I keep thinking about that. I've been thinking about that gun for 2 years.
Can I stop telling you? Can I tell you what I was talking about?
Yeah.
Did you mention to Snoop?
I gotta pee.
That's what you wanted to know?
I have to know.
Oh my gosh.
No, but I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, though.
You didn't bring my name up?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
He actually hopped heads.
It wasn't a...
He didn't
wasn't
want to own up to you.
No, it wasn't a long conversation,
Oh, okay.
and it wasn't settling in to talk. It was the first time I met him, I met him for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I thought that was it. And at the end of the night, when I went in there, I had a major hesitation about walking into his dressing room. With his bodyguards and everything around.
Papa? You mean Papa?
And I just went in to
And
say,
Big Wall?
it was fun to be on the show with you. And I thought it was that. And he asked for a pic. It was very, very fast. It wasn't long.
I went to see Danny Brown.
If I had stayed to talk, if he was like, pull up a seat,
Yeah.
it would have been something.
I want to see Danny Brown, and rap's just not my genre like it is yours.
Yeah.
He's cool, we become friendly.
Danny's fantastic.
I'll tell you, Simonson, that's his number one guy.
Really?
Simon, that Simonson's like, what do you mean? Can I was sure. And we're having a conversation. Oh, cool. What's the weather? I don't know, whatever. And then I look over at Dan, who's like,
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
He's trying to be cool.
Yeah.
But
I was trying to navigate the conversation
Yeah.
without looking like
You realize I would have been like, if you had worked with him for a year, I would have walked in and been like, I know Tom Segura.
I was.
And so who I am.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. You say that, because you were in my mind. And the fact that you guys work together was a natural thing to bring up. But it was also, I think, when you're sometimes in those situations, you're like, when's the time to say this? You're kind of nervous about how you say it.
Yeah.
And you're looking for the end to say it. So if I had talked to him for longer, it would have been a normal thing to bring up.
Cheers, I love drinking with you.
Okay, I love drinking with you too.
And Ari.
Oh,
glad
Ari,
you
you're so
enjoyed
gay.
it.
You're not drinking?
Yeah, I got another week.
Yeah, that little dog.
Oh, it's so fucking cute.
The cutest thing I've ever seen.
I think we should. So fucking cute.
Oh, he's so cute.
I just swallow his face.
Hey, Joe, can I ask you a question? Sure. So when you watched Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz fight, did you want one of them to win?
No.
Okay.
Really?
The main problem I had during commentary was Sean. That was the only problem I really ever had. Yeah, there's a lot of guys I love. I love Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I fucking love that dude. I love him. I wish there was more men like that in this world. I love him to death. But when he's fighting Conor McGregor, I can't have a favorite. I just have to let it happen. These guys they're all professionals.
It's impossible.
I do it. I swear to God, I do it. Even when Sean Strickland fought Israel Adesanya, Izzy's my friend. I love it. I love it. Yeah, he's the shit.
He's the motherfucker.
He defended me when that whole N-word video came out.
Yeah.
So, dude, that made me tear up.
Yeah.
I love that dude.
By the way, as a personal favorite, 100%.
As a human being, he's one of my favorite people that I've ever met. He's an extraordinary human being.
So fun.
But when he fought Sean Strickland, I have to be neutral. I have to be like, wow,
that's the job. You can't be like,
it's a job. But even that was during Fight Companion. All right, yeah. So, I was even working. I was just hanging out here when I was in the fight. I still have to be neutral. I have to have a neutral mindset. I'm trying to fight. People think, no. When people are fighting, that's just like from my own mind. I don't want my mind to go into this avenue where I want someone to win and someone to lose. Because you get a biased perspective. I know I've been guilty of that in the past. But I'm assuming that it is my commentary. That's a flaw. It's a flaw. I've been proven. I have friends that fight and I love them to death. I want them to win, but they don't win. I can't be attached to that. I have to be attached as a person who's appreciating the sport. I'll check in on them. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah.
But the reality of what they're doing is I have to be a clear, objective viewer of the transaction.
That's
who's
interesting.
winning the exchange.
When I'm hearing MMA commentary, I definitely want what you're saying. When I hear like football or sports commentary, I want to hear the Yankees. I want to hear them go, come on.
You can't let that out. But the thing is, there's a giant difference between a sport and a fight.
Right.
A fight, you're exposing a man's soul, and you got to be respectful of that. You're exposing everything about what he's capable of.
Right,
He's literally. They're fighting to the death. They're just not letting them finish it. That's what that is.
That's true. I think, by the way, that Kirk Herbstreit does that so well. He's an Ohio State graduate. Like, he played there. And he commentates on all the biggest games, and he can commentate on an Ohio State game, and in my opinion, yes.
Oh, see, I walked somebody.
I
would turn the Redskins games on mute and let the radio, like the hometown radio guys.
Yeah, I think he's very good at it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sweet. My favorite Nate Diaz clip ever is the coolest thing, especially if you've ever been bullied. You ever see Nate Diaz when they go, hey, were you ever bullied as a kid? And he just looks and he goes, no, I had a big brother. And you're like, and your heart swells. Yes.
And his big brother was Nick Diaz. Big fucking Diaz. Nick Diaz is one of the all-time greats.
I have to ask this.
Yeah, is that what you said?
Remember when the story broke?
Okay, hell no. That never happened to you. I had a big brother, man.
That's his big brother.
And his big brother's a savage. A real legit savage. I remember when Nick Diaz fought Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler was the man. He was like 20 years old. He was an assassin, just smashing people. And Nick Diaz went into the octagon, and as he walked into the octagon, he was like stomping on the floor. What part of California is he from again?
Stockton.
Be serious? Yeah, I forgot for a second. The worst. And he was yelling out Stockton. Stockton, motherfucker, Stockton.
I love it.
What?
Hey, by the
And
way,
I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
confused. Like, as a commentator, I'm like, what's happening here? It's like, Stockton, motherfucker, Stockton. I can't believe I forgot Stockton.
Yeah. You're the one that brought it up. The only reason I know that
today.
Okay.
All I've had is alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
You waited.
I worked out, got up, I was up late at night. I wrote late at night till 4 a.m. Got up, got in the cold, did my
Go
workout.
back to the story. Stockton, motherfucker.
He yells out, Stockton, motherfucker, Stockton. And you see Robbie Lawler going, what? And when we thought Nick could beat him, like we knew Nick was a jiu-jitsu guy, but he beat him with boxing. He knocked him out. He knocked out Robbie Lawler. When he hit him with a right hook and Robbie dropped, like face planted, we're like, what? It was nonsense. Like, no way. Somebody bullied ruthless Robbie Lawler.
Oh, look at that.
He just started. I mean, Robbie was an animal. Robbie was throwing back, but Nick was just. You gotta understand that talking shit is a 100% legit psychological tactic.
Yeah.
It fucks with your mind. It impedes your performance 100%. It's a brilliant move.
It's in all sports too, in all high level sports.
It is, and in fighting, he did better than anybody in the beginning. Nobody did it better in fight. He would talk so much shit to them. Frank Shamrock said that he couldn't believe it was happening to him. Because when go to Nick Diaz versus Frank Shamrock.
It says knockout shit too.
Okay.
Is this when Nate's one that flicked off the cameras, right?
Yeah, I was at that fight.
Stunned him with the 1-2. Yeah, but Nick was better. All due respect to Nate. Nate will tell you that Nick is better than Nate. Nick was
Just weed killed Nate.
Nick was one of the. No, man.
I thought he stopped fighting because he wouldn't get tested.
No. Nobody got killed because of weed.
I thought he stopped fighting because he was like, I'm not cleaning
Nick?
up. Yeah.
No. There's no testing now in the UFC.
Now.
He's just had some real injuries, man. Like, if you got to go to Nick Diaz, like right there, boom, face plant. You got to go to Nick Diaz in Strikeforce. If you want to see Nick Diaz at the elite of the elite level, where he achieved like real true greatness. By the time he got to the UFC, he was still great. When he fought Gomi and Pride, he was still great. In Strikeforce, an elite athlete in combat sports has a small window of time where they can perform at their best level. And when Nick Diaz was in Strikeforce, when he was the champ, he was fucking everybody up. He would just walk you down and beat your ass, and if you went to the ground, he would fucking strangle you 100% of the time. He beat everybody's asses.
God damn it.
The thing is, like, he would let guys take him down, like, shut up, you can't knock me out. Like, you never knocked him out. No one knocked him out. He always survived. He always figured out a way to turn it into a grappling exchange, and then slowly but surely he would beat you out. Nick Diaz swam from Alcatraz.
That's a gangster thing.
5 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
5
The mainland?
times.
Great white shark.
5 times. Might be more. Nick, I'm sorry if it's more since then. It's probably more since then. He beat everybody down. Eventually, you just withered, and he never got tired, and he just kept putting it on you. And at the end of the fight, he was always like this. He was basically hitting a fucking punching bag. A person who couldn't believe the amount of pressure that Nick Diaz put on them. Just beating the fuck out of them with not even breathing heavy.
He did not stop.
And he's standing on top of him like, what? That's it. That's over. I want you to go to Nick Diaz versus Frank Shamrock. Frank Shamrock was a legend. He was a UFC champion. He was the first complete mixed martial artist. He could wrestle. He could submit you. He could do anything. And Nick Diaz the entire time was like, what, bitch? What, bitch? What are you going to do, bitch? He was just constantly talking to him. And Frank was like, I couldn't believe he was talking to me.
He's talking right now.
Always. Give me some volume. See if you can hear it. I don't think so. I think they both like targets. Frank's trying to focus right now, though, you can tell.
Frank using that straight right hand to the body.
And the thing is, he's just touching you. He's hitting you with like 50%, 60%. But he's so relaxed. Look how relaxed his style is. He's not getting tired. Look how easy he's hitting him.
Why?
Because he's just wearing him out. He's cooking his food.
He's holding back.
Yeah. No, he's 100% holding you back.
Yeah.
Look how he's punching him. He's not punching him full force at all. He's just piecing him up.
slowly. Yeah.
So the thing is,
Without wearing
if
out.
you can fight at that style, where you're just 50%ing guys, you don't get tired. And if you can do 20 punches at 50%, it's almost as good as 50 punches at 100%.
Yeah.
Or rather 10 punches at 100%. It's like if you cut it in half. The volume also keeps you from being able to take a good breath.
Oh, right.
The guy's on you all the time. You never get a breather. Frank's not getting any breathers. And Nick's not tired. Look, he's just piecing him. Look, even that kick, there's no real power in it. Everything is just touching you, until he starts to really see you will. And look at him. Look at his stomach. Look at his stomach. There's no breathing heavy at all. He's probably at 120 beats a minute right now.
That's insane.
This is a fucking guy who runs triathlons. So he can stand in front of you, and you are fucking cooked. So he's cooking his chicken right now. He's got his chicken on the frying pan right now. He's cooking chicken breasts. He's just piecing them up. And look, not tired, not exhausted, not hitting him. There's a dig. That's a dig. First dig. Wow. That right hand of the body he dug into.
So right now he's 100% going after it.
Now he's going after it. See the difference? You know, these punches have a lot more fury behind them, right? Because he's ending the fight. Frank's already at 180 beats a minute. He's wilting, and he's beating the fuck out of him. And then he helps him up because you're a legend. Get up. He said that. You're a legend. Get up. And he holds his hand up. That's how he feels about him. That's legitimately how he feels about him.
Is there anyone better than Diaz brothers?
They're not brothers.
No, the brothers, man. That legend.
Look, there's a lot of awesome.
They're like, are they better than Peyton Manning and Archie Manning? Or Eli Manning? Yeah, Eli Manning?
Yeah, that's what our sports are saying.
Yeah, like with the brothers.
No, Peyton and Eli are better.
I don't know, man.
World titles.
Yeah,
MVPs.
the rings.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, Nate's biggest win. That's his big win.
You said though that the elite guys, when they get in there, they do most of the fight at like 60-70%, right?
In less than that's one of the reasons why Max Holloway stopped sparring. Max decided at one point in time that he sparred enough. He understands it. He just does drills and trains and does a bunch of strength and conditioning work. And when he goes into a fight, he hasn't been hit in a long time. Mm-hmm. And that's his philosophy. He's also a world champion at the top of, there's a top 5 pound for pound. Max Holloway should be in there.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest of all time.
That's the thing though, like if you're amateur, you always start with like 400%, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you step in,
Yeah.
whether you're doing jiu-jitsu or you're boxing or something, you're just like, and you realize that this is not sustainable. It's not sustainable, right?
Yeah.
But those elite guys are like, oh, you gotta make this shit happen.
Nick Diaz was the best at that. Because he understood endurance from the perspective of someone who swam from Alcatraz, someone who does triathlons. When you do triathlons, you're fucking swimming, you're running, and you're biking. There's 3 different things you're doing. All of them are exhausting. And any one of them, when it's over, it should be over. Yeah. Like, wow, what a workout. But then you got another one. And then after that, you got another one.
Where does he takes a tourist boat out there and is like, I'll catch up with you guys.
No. They do that specifically. Endurance athletes do it. They swim back from Alcatraz because if you don't make it to the shore, you're dead. And there's also great whites. They nest out there. They nest. So San Francisco, that area out there is famous for its population of great white sharks. No, you're dead.
It's like, what are you doing?
So there's like a follow boat, kind of.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Is that what he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, he made it all the way 5 times.
Not that a follow boat's going to help you.
How far are you swimming when you do that?
I just was there.
It's more than a mile.
No, I think it's, if I'm not mistaken.
Current, though.
Well, the current's they time it out with the current. They don't go with like.
But the distance, just the distance as the crow flies. What's the distance? Between Alcatraz and the
It's
shore.
got to be at least 2 miles.
No.
Yeah, there is.
It's got to be At least a
He
mile.
says, I have done Alcatraz 5 times. So during the Conor McGregor, Rafael Dos Anjos, anyway, during
Just
one of the
posted
fights,
distance,
I said they did it twice, and he corrected me. He said he did it 5 times.
How far
But this was, by the way, 2016.
Maybe
He's
done it twice.
probably done it 5 times since then.
Yeah.
He's a fucking psycho.
This is a story, like, I remember how hot this story
What's the
was.
distance between Alcatraz?
It's got to be at least. I'm just telling you on marathon triathlons. It's got to be a mile.
Yeah, I
It's
think
at
it's
least
more
a
than
mile.
a mile.
I know it is, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
to be safe. It's over a fucking mile.
Whatever, like, what happened with the Kane story?
Cain Velasquez.
Kane,
Velasquez.
he hasn't been convicted in 1.25 miles. Okay.
It's a long swim.
It's a long swim. Kane has not been convicted.
He's still locked up?
No, he's free. They released him on bail.
Can I ask you to pause for a second? Is Cain Velasquez the guy in Hawaii who's
No,
Sorry,
he's
sorry,
a
sorry.
guy in Northern California whose son was molested by someone who was running the daycare center.
Same. I thought it was Hawaii.
He's from AKA. He's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. In his prime, maybe the best. And he found out that his son had been molested by a daycare worker, and he went after that guy and drove his car in a rage and shot a gun at him. And they arrested him. They kept him in jail for a long time. And they finally let him out on bond, and now he's coaching at AKA. And I don't know what the status of his case is, but Kane is an exceptional human being. Totally amazing human being.
I feel like that was a story where, like,
Every dad who heard that was like, I
Yeah.
fucking get it. I
It's like
get
you
it.
gotta be careful with stray bullets.
Not only
Yeah,
that,
I
the
get the
guy who did that is out.
What?
Yeah, the guy who did that is out on bail. So he's out, and Kane was in jail at the same time. It's one of the most terrifying situations a father could ever find themselves in, and not just know that that guy is out, but that you're in prison and that your wife is home with your children, and this guy who has already targeted your kid, who knows how fucking sick he is. He might try to target him again while you are in jail, because and you might be in jail forever. Who knows? You might be in jail for 30 years. Who knows? Yeah. It's attempted murder. He was shooting a gun at the guy, allegedly.
You failed?
But I'm on Team Kane.
Everybody on me. Everybody is on everybody.
No, but if he is, I'm doing
See, find out if there's a GoFundMe.
I'm on Team Kane all day. Every person in this room except Ari who has a kid, but even Ari for his dog. Everyone gets it. But there's a feeling that when you have kids, man, there's a fucking protection feeling that's... Jim Brewer said it to me, he goes, I never understood murder. He goes, now I get murder. He goes, I'd murder for my kids. Yeah. GoFundMe shut down. What? GoFundMe shuts down Cain Velasquez fundraiser, says donors issued refunds. Oh my God. Violation of terms of service. What's your terms of service? Legal defense of a violent crime. Oh, okay.
Prohibits raising money for the legal defense. Yeah.
So
I
hurricane.
see
The
what you
like
want,
a hurricane.
but that's not a violent crime. It's between human beings.
What?
Hurricane?
No.
Hurricane Carter?
Yeah. His
Okay.
defense.
I'm glad I just added Bob Dylan's Hurricane to my Spotify Green Room playlist, which should now be available. That's why I
Hardcore and using that song.
saying Hurricane.
Bob Dylan should be gay. Yeah, of course. For Bob Dylan's
That hurricane story is complicated.
Yeah, but so you couldn't raise money for that defense with the new GoFundMe?
Yeah, but the story's complicated. Whether or not that person was guilty or not is complicated. The hurricane story. Yeah, it's a little complicated. And the version in the movie is 100% horseshit. The version in the movie of the guy who's like targeting him, horseshit.
The movies always do it with like Fruitvale Station. They can't make him a drug dealer, so he's like, here, take up my weed. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like you can be a drug dealer and not deserve to get shot.
Yeah, well, also, when drugs are legal and some drugs will get you put in a cage, and the people that own the patents to those drugs are funding politicians, like, what? What? Yeah. You just don't want entrepreneurs. You don't want drug dealers on a street level. Yeah. Drug dealers everywhere. Every time you go to Walgreens, it's a fucking plexiglass wall behind you and the drug dealer. True.
We were
filled with people's stuff.
me and Kevin and I were driving through Arizona, and we passed by some prisons. We were just looking them up. They all renamed, rebrand, and we were like, they made since '85, and he said they made $2 billion. And if you told them, hey, one of your big funding things is weed arrests, we're going to make that not a problem. They're going to go full on, like make that illegal.
You know that prison guard unions lobby to keep marijuana from being.
You're taking away a quarter of our business.
Yeah, just keep them employed, basically. Yeah, because it's like if you're a business person, that's what you're supposed to do. If you have shareholders, if you have union members, you're not supposed to do it morally. You're supposed to do it like, what's the benefit of this shareholders, this group of people that I represent? That's what's dirty about corporations.
But are you wise enough to not do that? Like, say you're what's the family that Jelly Roll just talked about on at Congress? Bilderbergs?
No, it's Lemons.
Somebody talked about a family that did all over the Sacker family.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, be fair. The kids are saying, out of this. Could you walk away from millions? Who? You as a person, and say like,
You'd like to say you could,
but so like I said, I would.
Could you walk away from millions with you had enough after? That's a different question. They all have millions. Gonna have millions for the rest of the time.
I think Facebook started nice. And fucking no, this is what I think Facebook started nice. Realize people are turning on each other hard for your thing. He's like, just keep running. We got a machine. It's so hard. You can't walk away from money. Not everyone has a sweet thing in life. Which one are we talking about? You're willing to let people die for this money. You're saying, I'm just saying, I'm not the average person. You know what I'm saying right here? What you're saying, this is what I'm starting. You're you. And those people that work for the Sackers are a different thing. If you take flour and sugar and chocolate and you mix it up and you make a fucking cake, that's how you make a cake. If you want to make sourdough bread, you need different ingredients. If you want to make a really nice guy who's a good dad and a good husband and a funny guy and does a tour, does stand-up comedy, you go through your life and you make Bert Kreischer. You make you. If you want to make a sapper, you have to have disconnected parents. You have to have this weird privilege of insane financial wealth. You have to have a pharmaceutical gigantic company that's been bribing politicians and manipulating narratives and shaping the public's view of pharmaceutical drugs by hiding negative side effects and accentuating the positive benefits of it, all for money. So this is the environment that you grow up in. You're a different thing. You're a different thing. You right now would pass up. No, I'm saying if you got a money right now, what I'm saying. No, I'm saying you've got a fucking phone call. And the Sacker said, this is going to sound crazy, but it turns out you were part of the fucking Sacker family. And you have a seat on the board, and you can come in, and we didn't know, but you're part of the family, and you have a UPC, and you're worth $10 million now. So it's inherited. If you're you do now, your family inherited their wealth, or that's what it's about. He didn't. He built up his life. That's why he wouldn't do it now. He would do it. You have friends where you had environment. That's what determinism is. The idea behind it is you're shaped by all of the different circumstances you encounter. And to compare your circumstances to another circumstance is crazy. It doesn't make any sense. I'm wondering, just for argument's sake, if it's going to be at a young age, get out of comedy, sacklers, and have this thing called Oxycontin. And that's really helping with cancer. It's like, that's how you get into it, right? For sure, you would have gone out at an early age. Just like if somebody gave you a lottery ticket, if you put out a lottery ticket, you won $100 million. You thought it was multi-million. Your career when you were 21. 100%. Yeah, I had 21 and what up. cops that you would have. No, because if you don't have any money, when you get money, it is the illness. It's the elixir. It's the thing that exists. The intuitive thing was possible. Now all of a sudden you're not worrying about bills, which is 35%.
I get the streets. That was like all I had. Put it in my pipe. Crazy.
That's a human
That is mine.
that was exposed to Stanford prison experiments. And if you get people, they have power over other people, they start abusing them almost instantly. But you don't know, they're very subtle. Someone tells you. Yes. Versus that. These people decide
They're everywhere. Like have a towel.
You could right now. You could if I was 20. There's a lot of weird things. It's one of the weirdest ones. One of the weirdest ones is there was people that were administering electrical shock to a person, and they were told to do it by someone else, so they did. And it got to the point where they thought the person might be dying, and some people kept doing it, and some people did not. And there is a power dynamic that I think allows people to torture people. It allows people to kill people within their, whatever the fuck you are. If you're an Israeli, a Palestinian, if you're a Palestinian Israeli, you can kill someone. They're not even a human. That is the other. There's a fucking programming that exists in our mind. It's all the tribal warfare human beings have gone through over hundreds of thousands of years. When the time we were prehistoric humans, the time we were fucking modern humans, we have been killing each other for so fucking long that we have a program in us where it's easy to other people. That's how the Holocaust happened. That's how what's happening in Ukraine is happening. What's happening in Israel is happening. You can decide that someone is something other than a human being. And they can get you to do that pretty fucking quickly. If they tap into that mindset, they tap into that programming, they can give you a button. They go, hit him. But he said he's dying. Hit him. Hit him. And they would do it.
I say this with love. Tom's dad was in the Vietnam War. I don't think Tom's dad was a guy that wanted to ever kill anyone, but he had to in that programming. So the thing I think is there's a disconnect with where we as Americans look at things on social media and we think we're not that caring, we're not that person, we'd never do it. But until you're in that moment, you don't know. You don't know. You really don't know.
There's a lot of normal GIs in Vietnam that were raping fucking villagers.
Probably.
They didn't go in as monsters.
War does something.
There's so many war crimes. If you can't connect to the fact that that's in you, that's in you, then I think you're lying to
Yeah,
yourself.
it's a possibility.
You don't think rogue is good.
When you go into that, when you show up, you don't just go, level the training. You do get trained to be a killer.
Right.
That whole speech of like, they are training you to see the enemy as the enemy and somebody you have to kill. Right? So you're it's not day one. You're prepared over a series of months. And it's a version of a brainwashing. We'll brainwash you to become a killer.
Like, this is good. Do it.
There's a pattern that you can follow in your head where you can destroy another human being.
1,000%.
And that's what Customano taught
in me.
Mike Tyson. He taught Mike Tyson that through hypnosis. He taught him the most effective way to think and to view. You don't exist. He was telling him you're just, the task is the only thing that's important. You don't exist. The task of smashing this person is all that it is. And if you can think like that, that alleviates so much brain power.
Alleviates the guilt.
If you tell that to a soldier, you can get him to do some wild shit.
And that's it. Your dad.
Yeah.
Later years.
I'm curious. I would love to hear like the insight your dad had about that. As a son, hearing your dad going like, yeah, I just had to kill people. My dad's never killed anyone. But it just seems like he had asthma. But I'm curious because we're talking about this. What was that? As a son, hearing the rationale, you have to accept it. You have to figure it out.
Yeah, and he was a great dad. He was a really kind, loving guy. But I mean, first of all, he loved the Marine Corps. He loved the Marine Corps.
Well, I would imagine
So
the
much.
bonds that you make when you're literally fighting for life and death.
Yeah.
19 also.
And he, you know, he's a lieutenant, so he has a platoon of 70 men under his command. So you feel also the responsibility
Yeah.
thing. And like, you know, he told me right before he died, like in the last year of his life, that he thought about the men who died in his platoon every day. He never told me that before. I was like, what? He goes, every day I think about those guys that I lost. And I was like, I had no idea. He never spoke about it. And he would tell me like stories about different like guys dying next to him, stepping on a mine next to him, exploding 3 feet from him, getting shot. And the worst one, he said, was a guy that to watch movies back then, you'd have to go to like a base, get a film canister and bring it back. And in the monsoon season, one of those guys went to get films just for entertainment, and he drowned in a monsoon on the way back.
What?
So it felt like a more meaningless death.
Yeah.
He wasn't in combat,
Right.
things like that. He would talk about that, and then also they do get this disconnect if you're in combat. Like, it's not like you talking about could you kill someone. It's like you're in a world of killing. That's all that's happening around you.
It's not could you. You have to.
You have to. And so then he was just like, yeah, that's when he started telling me, like, so I asked him as a kid. I mean, I ended up doing a bit about it, but I used to ask him as a kid, you see wars, and you're like, you see movies, and you're like, did you do that? And as a kid, you're not going to tell the kids. And he was like, no, it didn't work like that. I was in charge. Like, I was a lieutenant. I was like, and then later years, he's like, well, I threw grenades into bunkers. And I was like, were there people in the bunkers? And he was like, yeah. And
That's why we're
and he's like, oh, yeah. And then he also said, I mean, it became like this joke, but it was true. He said, you know, there's no better feeling than killing the enemy, right? Like in combat. Because they're all trying to kill the people around you, and they are killing people around you.
Right.
So, yeah, he said they would pull bodies out of these holes. The Vietnamese were small people, stature-wise.
Yeah.
So they would hide in holes a lot of times, like holes in the ground.
Coochie tunnels.
And they would throw grenades into there. And then when they pull them out, they'd be in half. So they just pull like a torso out, you know. But he also said, losing men left and right, like in your platoon. I mean, it's devastating to you. It's like the person you bonded with and
here's basic training. You're over there for a lie.
I think that's a part that a lot of people don't ever reconcile with. If they're,
That's got to be the hardest.
yeah.
You're over there committing atrocities for a lie.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to be there.
Like they're not here.
Gulf of Tonkin.
You're over there.
The Gulf of Tonkin incident wasn't real.
The Gulf of Tonkin, too, is something that even active duty people at the time didn't realize until 20, 30 years. You know what I mean? They're not.
Well, that's Smedley Butler. The war is a racket. That's his whole article that he wrote from 1933. Who's a very established general. At the end of his career, he writes what he was really doing, what he thought he was doing. It was really just like making things safe for bankers.
Wow.
Controlling resources. This is 33.
Wow.
It's called War is a Racket.
Really?
I recommend it to
Making
anybody.
things safe for bankers.
I've talked about it every time I can because people need to understand these patterns they're repeating themselves forever because they're a part of human behavior patterns. They're these natural behavior patterns that exist in order to enable us to survive. To survive, you have to conquer your enemies, control resources, establish safe grounds, and that stuff can get out of hand if that's your whole business. If that's your whole business, you've been doing that forever, then you find reasons to go to war.
That war machine.
War machine. Yeah. But Eisenhower talked about it at the end of his presidential term.
So you get the Hillary Clinton.
It's still.
Is your dad still alive?
Yeah.
Is your dad still alive? Yeah, allegedly.
My uncle, my dad was active duty on the ground. My uncle flew over 600 missions in Vietnam.
Damn.
Dropping bombs.
And your mom's from Vietnam.
I mean, think about it.
Listen, Charlie Logan's
Stand by that.
fucking son, your broke ass can't even talk to him.
600 times?
Or,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I didn't
Imagine
know
being the
Joe
guy
Rogan's
in the
dad,
plane that drops the
and he didn't
fucking
get along.
nuke,
He was
the
alive.
first nuke.
I just figured that out just
was
now.
like,
It's
fucked him up.
crazy.
oh,
You
wow.
imagine
Was
how
like, dude,
horrible
that's just what it
his
is.
dad
Like,
must
you
feel.
know,
I
you know,
feel
the
so
funny
bad.
thing is
but
they
that
didn't
guy
know.
just killed
Regardless, even if he wasn't famous.
150,000.
But they didn't know if their plane was gonna be able to like get away from the bomb and go over. So they had to like fucking fly crazy altitudes try to get out of the bomb.
Isn't that crazy? Like, first time, you're not exactly sure.
As a
Yeah,
father,
did you see
too, Joe's
Oppenheimer?
bad.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I read the book. Shut up. No.
I don't even read. I do read.
Of course you do.
But if I read like 10% of what I listen to.
Of course I did. But I wish you read less.
Huh?
I wish you read less.
Why?
It'd be easier to hang out with you. Joe, you know too much, man. It's like I can't. You're like
Laurie knew me when I was stupid.
Yeah, I know. I wish I got that Joe. I got the early Joe, the dumb Joe. That was my favorite Joe. This Joe, like before he discovered a book.
Like comments.
So I remember when you got curious.
Craziest
I remember
thing
being curious.
in the
I
world.
didn't have a platform where I can get people to talk to.
As long as you keep from moon landings or aliens or pyramids, you're good.
Yeah,
Leanne said. Leanne's always